Hi, I'm Adha, and I'm going to read a poem called Hair. A bee flew into my hair yesterday. I could hear it, a violent buzzing in my ear. I was jumping and running and trying to get this creature off of me, but nothing seemed to work. What if it stung my head? Then my brain would be pierced. Maybe I would never speak again and never walk or skip or sing, be confined to a bed, with no one to talk to or notice or observe, with no pen to write and no book to read. I would just lay there, still, waiting for sickness to enter my room, and enter my body and enter my pierced brain and take me over. Take me to an island where people would speak and walk and skip and sing, where I had a set of old pens that belonged to someone's great-grandmother, and where I lived in a library that had a little bed in the corner with rosy pink sheets and lace flower details on the borders and hundreds of books. And after the sickness took me to this magical place, death would come and take me on a boat off the island. It's in that boat where I met the bee that ultimately killed me and sat with it and death for hours, waiting to find a shore. See, the bee had died too. She didn't mean to fly into my long tangled hair, and she wanted to get out as much as I wanted her to get out. But it was so dark and so suffocating that she flew in the wrong direction and bumped into something, my head. That's when her dagger went into my brain and took my abilities away. But in reality, the bee never stung my head. In reality, I just shook and scurried until the bee fell out of my head. I'm fine, completely and utterly fine.
My name is Carter Doss, and my poem is My Anger Takes. In the folds of my mind, there you are, lurking, yearning, screaming, crying to be heard. You are heard, and when you do take over, you take. And take until there's nothing more to be taken, until I become the folds in your mind, and I yearn to behold. Not only do you take my mind, you take my clothes, my toys, my favorite cologne. When you want more, you turn to me. Punching, screaming, crying, yelling like it's my fault, but you're still not full. As you are the parasite and I am the host, I will survive without you. I breathe, I calm myself down so you can leave. You are not welcome in my home, my body, my mind. I look around and I say, what have I done? My dishes are broken, mugs destroyed, pages ripped out, and I say to myself, my anger takes.
Hi, my name is Langmuir, and I'll be reading my poem, There Was Only Crackling on the Other End of the Line. There was only crackling on the other end of the line. We both stopped speaking. I can't see her face, but the silence is screaming at me. I can hear her thoughts clear as day in my head. I know what she wants me to say, but how could I? How can I explain in a few seconds what has lived in me my whole life? What sets me apart from her and him? What makes me other in feeling but not in the physical? The answer is that I can't. I'll try though. I try every day. It's what I do. It's what I have to do to stand. Or else. But she doesn't know that. She doesn't know what it's like to run out of cliches and analogies and expressions before you just have to say it. She hasn't spent as much time in a single room with a single adult with a single word hanging in the air. Yes, with a single truth. She hasn't sobbed onto her mother and felt the weight of 1,000 silences on her chest and prayed it was all a dream. She doesn't know what a little kid shouldn't. But I'm not there anymore. I haven't been there for years, and I'm not going back. I'm on the floor in my kitchen on the phone, and there is only crackling on the other end of the line, and I'm just like her for the rest of the call. Thanks. Now I'm going to read another poem I wrote called I Cut My Knees Today. I cut my knees today, playing a sport I don't know with kids I don't like. See, I ran to grab the football. Well, slid is more accurate. Threw is the best. I threw myself at the ball knees first, like a son of a bitch rock star or a boy kneeling before an altar with sins branding his back. Either way, I ate dirt. I washed the scrapes in the park bathroom, dried them with cafeteria napkins, and stuck old band-aids on. I kissed them. It didn't work the same. It hurts like hell, like stinging, like red-hot, searing anger, and God does it feel good. I've only known bruises for months. acquired from clumsy, hazy days spent in a sea of ledges and sides and doorways. So God, let me bleed. Cut me open and let the blood run down my legs, and let my parents give me kisses and teachers wince as I walk by. Let my joints groan with rust and age and use, because I own them, so it's my right. Let me feel this pain in every inch of my body. I'm so glad to have it now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chives, and I have two poems. The first one is a mask poem written from the perspective of a slave from the 1800s, and it's called Hear Me, O Lord. The whip cracks like a thunder strike, the holder playing God, owning us like animals. Rivers upon oceans of blood are where we came from, and with every mistake we descend into the sea, becoming increasingly desperate to drain the swamps. My own life is spilled as I watch, eyes burning yet unable to look away. They force me to watch my family, every one of them, be slashed or slain by a cruel dictator. There is not any reason for going on. What would be the point to end it if my failure to complete would pave the way for a whipping? What price must I pay to leave this living hell? I've already sold my soul against my will, and if the devil is real, he is my master. Every owner is a blessing to their families, yet a burden and a fiery pit of disdain to us slaves. Hear me, O Lord. Let me die quickly in captivity or live in freedom. My skin has darkened over the years. My mind has hardened, and traumatic incidents are daily routines. I shall never be whipped again if I can help it, but my own mind aches with fear at the idea of being a victim. I want to be seen as a survivor to the white folks. My world does not want me here. How unfortunate. I should know. What is a home without a mother to greet you at the door? The home of her mother's mother, a plea to the pot of soup burning on the stove. When a father asks to play ball with his boy, he tells him he has homework to do and is not in the mood for childish games. Tea is left untouched. Not crying over spilled milk is hard. Walls doused in chemical from 50 years ago rot along with your grandmother's old mind. What is a family without its problems? I should know. Feeling her necklace cool against unscarred skin, my favorite song was hers. How should I be expected to know? Old and expired, just as the dinner table is. I miss my family without their constitutional problems, but without them, we are nothing. No reason to meet together over roast, when mother won't be there to greet her daughter at the wood-stained door. Pennsylvania misses Mary Moore.
Equal and opposite, Ian Kim. For all time and space, hatred and love, all intertwined as one. Using both to save face, balancing them both is never truly done. They say hate is foolish and love is wise, but both live on through us. Let all live one, and let them both go rise. They grow as they all must.
Hi, my name is Isabella Abreau, and I'll be reading my poem, Flowers. A flower is pretty once it's budded, from dirt, wiser than a Greek philosopher. A flower is pretty once it blooms. A flower is pretty once it's cut off of its stem and given to a pretty lady on her first date. A flower is pretty once it's placed into a vase that's been in her house since she could crawl. A flower is pretty once it's dried and withered, somewhat like an old woman's hand still painted her favorite shade of red. A flower is pretty once it's discarded, thrown away without memory into a bin of old food scraps. A flower is pretty once it's turned to dirt, not yet as wise. A flower is pretty once it's no longer alive, and once it's given birth to another which buds.
I'm Juneli Elias, and this is my poem to use. I am elated and filled with stress, on the verge of something that will never arrive. Constant anticipation and dread, all self-inflicted. Yet, I'm the happiest I have been for a while. How much happier could I be without all this weight on my chest? I will never know. It's a part of me, fused. We are one, joy and fear, light and static.
Hello, I'm Lexy, and I will read Cheesy Villain Poem. I know I will be gone. I know I have no heir. Human love cannot express what I can through my lair. Dungeon will live for me, dungeon will love for me. Blacklisted from honorable death, immortal through infamy. No partners in life, my creation will sin for me.
My name is Raniero, and this is Words Part 2. Words bounce like bombastic beats or beats, buoyant in the boiling broth of beautiful poetry. Out of the brew we bring and braid the words like bracelets, to wear or warp them, put them to work and wash and wrap them and wax them, strip and split them, the poet steers them to meaning, magic, and marvelous merit. And this is intermission. Day to day, we live for the in-between moments, like when water begins to flow but hasn't hit the sink, or when the sun is rising but the light hasn't reached your balcony. The moment right before we sleep that we won't be able to pinpoint by morning. We live for the mere seconds that embody anticipation, the sacred ones where nothing is allowed to happen except the thing we are expecting, like when our eyes begin to water but tears haven't hit cheek, or when pen lands on paper but hasn't yet left a mark. The moment when your fingers are grounded on the keys, but the moments have not yet reached your ears. You can almost grasp the nothingness.